In this video, I'm going to share 5 of my favorite explosive plyometric drills to help gymnasts develop more stiffness and more quickness and have better tumbling or jumps or leaps or also hitting the springboard for vault. These types of drills are extremely important to teach gymnasts how to be very stiff and kind of punch the floor to get better tumbling and skills and things like that. Today is also a super exciting video because we're going to announce at the end the winner of the giveaway for our 2023 Shift Symposium tickets, who is also going to win a free course of their choice from Shift. So a very big day. Make sure you stick around and watch the entire video to get the drills, but also see if you won at the end and see who is going to be that lucky winner. Before we dive in, if it's your first time back to the channel in a while, make sure you drop down, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. It's just because we have a lot of great content people are really enjoying, and I want to make sure that you are here seeing everything for that. But let's dive into the video that you came here to check out. All right, so the first one that's kind of a classic in the gymnastics world is going to be in and out panel mat jumps. Okay, so these are a really good way to just start teaching younger athletes or newer athletes the basics of plyometrics and the basics of stiffness. Okay, so this drill is really aimed at a couple things. For one, it's meant to teach body stiffness, and it's meant to teach really good explosive power through the feet and the ankles. Okay, so when we're doing these, we want to make sure we set these things up so it's not too high too soon. Okay, so 10 repetitions with a couple seconds of very quick kind of punching and kind of popping is great to add into a warm-up. It's great to put it into a side station on floor or on bars or on beam. Okay, just trying to make sure we're getting some sort of extra kind of emphasis on the ankles and the pushing. Okay, a couple common errors we see here, and these will kind of go through many of the things we talk about, but one is overly bent knees. Okay, so a little bit of a bent knee is definitely normal. We don't want someone jumping on hyperextended knees or having completely locked out pin straight knees, because that's just a high risk of something going wrong in terms of, like, having a problem with hyperextending the knee and causing an injury. So a soft knee is okay. We want to flex the quads really hard, but it's impossible to not do these and not have any little bit of bend in the knees. Okay, the second thing we see sometimes is someone's really not having a good core position. Their body is arched. They kind of have a pike arch where their hips are kind of out and their back is arched. And so that causes the power to kind of leak out, and we don't have the most energy when we hit the spring floor or the springboard or the beam or something like that. So try to make sure we're really focusing on a neutral core position with a really good braced breathing at the same time. Okay, and the third thing, like I said, is sometimes these panel mats are put way too high for the athletes to start with. Somebody will have 2 or 2.5 panel mats, and for younger athletes, these are extremely hard to do well. If the mat is so high, they can't really get all the push through their feet. So I'm all about challenging someone, but I don't want to start somebody off to a position where it's just way too much, way too soon. So these are a really good starting point for young athletes. Almost every athlete can do these, and they're very simple to set up. Now, progressing from here, I do like mixing in a little bit of non-gymnastic specific springboard type work just to condition the Achilles, to condition the knees, to condition the calf muscles. Okay, so weighted pogo hops are a super duper helpful way to do this. Okay, so same kind of idea with the panel mat plyos we just showed, but now we have a little bit of overload going on from the dumbbells, and we also have a little bit of extra weight put onto them because we're on the cement floor right here, or the hard floor. So these would probably be best done on a vault runway or on somewhere that's not a spring floor, because now we're trying to just develop the overall capacity to handle high force, condition the shins, condition the Achilles, condition the calves, the bottom of the feet. I really like doing these as a nice starter progression to get somebody ready to do some of the harder stuff we're going to see here in the rest of the video. So we can do 8 to 12 reps with about 2 sets, 1 second of that very fast explosive jump, a couple days per week. And what we can do is go from a double leg variation to eventually going to a single leg variation. Okay, so much harder to do very well, but again, we're trying to condition the ankle and the Achilles, so we do want to add some overload. Okay, some errors that I see here with these: number one, we have way too much weight in our hands. People are using like 15-20 pound dumbbells, and it becomes more of a jump than a bounce. Okay, this is about plyometric. This is about some fast twitch power type stuff, so we don't want to go so heavy it starts to become less of an actual explosive movement. We'll talk about an exercise next for that. Okay, the second thing, like I said, is we want to have really good stiffness in the feet and in the ankles, so we want to make sure we're not on soft mats. This is not one we want to do on a 8-incher or on a sting mat or on something with kind of a softer surface like the floor. We want these to be on the actual spring floor so someone can learn how to create that fast twitch pop. Okay, and then lastly, just the tension, right? You need maximal body tension. Even though you're only jumping with the ankles, I want to see her core braced. I want to see her gripping the dumbbells tight. I want to see a nice open hip angle. I want to see the whole body nice and rigid to get that nice plyometric stiffness we're looking for. All right, and third, as I was talking about here, is we do want to have some things that have some explosive jumps in as well. These are also considered plyometric sometimes because they have a nice fast twitch response. So depth drops are really good here. Okay, so dropping off and doing a max effort jump Okay, so step off, max effort jump of drop down, jump as high as you can, and then stick your landing. And we can also pair this with a drop to a depth drop, okay, to a broad jump. Okay, so both these variations are very good, but what we're trying to emphasize here is very fast twitch off the ground. Okay, I don't want Heather to be on the ground for a long time. I want her to be exploding as high as she can, and then she can stick her landings. Okay, so a couple of things I just want to see here. I want to see that athlete who is jumping. Okay, I want to see someone who's really doing a nice explosive jump, but then they are landing safely. Okay, so that first jump, you can see here, that first jump, that's a jump, that's a land. Okay, I don't want to see somebody who's just not landing safely. That's obviously pretty dangerous. We don't want someone's knees buckling in. So try to make sure you teach the athlete what the difference is between jumping or landing. Okay, make sure you use them both. Number two is that people will do box depth jumps from here with just crazy high amounts, right? So like these giant P-bar blocks people are falling off of. That is not the point of this drill, to do a super high intensity landing. Okay, that will happen. There's other drills for that, but this is about the pop. Okay, so if we drop from a very high box, it makes it very hard to absorb and fastly quick twitch off the ground. So we want to save those for another type of squatting or landing drills, okay? The third thing that we see here sometimes is someone is really not putting maximal effort in, okay? So we want to see an absolute jump as high as you possibly can. And I tell people to use cues like hit your head on the ceiling, like jump as far as you possibly can. Try to touch the wall in front of you when you jump, okay? It's really all about cueing someone for maximal effort. So I really like doing about 5 repetitions of the jump and 5 repetitions of the broad jump, maybe 5 in the first set and then 5 in the second set. I like doing a fast, explosive 1-second tempo, and I like adding these in a couple days per week, particularly in the start of a warm-up where someone's fresh and they can really go super duper hard here. Okay, and then moving on to another one that I'm a massive fan of. These are panel mat progressions, but now for snap downs. Okay, so kicking up to a handstand and working on trying to snap down from this position and rebound back up to the panel mat. Okay, so we had our kind of panel mat plyos in that first slot, which is really more about just conditioning the ankles. This is about technique. Okay, so this is about snapping to a handstand, learning a tight arch and learning a tight snap down, and then being able to be rigid and stiff when you hit the floor, but also know where your eyes are going, right? You can see Heather's eyes are directly on the edge of the panel mat. She works very fast to get her arms up and cover her ears right away, and she uses all of the kind of drills we've been working on to kind of get that nice elastic pop off the floor. Okay, so I really want to see someone who's able to do this snap down rebound really, really well for body tension, for that plyometric explosiveness. This is a great way to start somebody off in learning. Okay, so the errors I want to kind of talk about right away is one is this is way too hard of a progression to start with. They don't start with a stretch jump. They start with a back handspring or a back tuck or something really, really advanced, and all we see is the knees buckle. We see the technique, the head gets thrown out, and it's just not really teaching the fundamental thing we're looking for. Okay, the second is we see too much of a pike arch when they snap down. So someone who goes from this position and kind of goes to here, you can see Heather tends to round her upper back and lower back in. Someone who's not really good and doesn't have the core strength for this, they're going to pike their body and try to do it with their hip flexors. So try to really encourage the entire body to arch, hollow, snap. And then 3 is they have to have an extremely high core brace from the start. Okay, so when Heather kicks to a handstand, that's when I want to see the core brace, and then she can snap down and she can maintain that core brace when she hits the floor. She does a really good job right here. You can see it of keeping the core brace, keeping the nice and upper body top up towards the ceiling all the way this way. Okay, so those are very common errors to see. The progression of these that I want someone to get back to is going to be a snap down with a connection. So snap down, but now we're going to connect this, right? We're going to go back into a back handspring, and then we're going to go into a rebound. Okay, so now I want to see somebody who's actually able to kind of transfer that nice stiffness, not let the knees buckle under too much, get the arms moving right away, and then be able to rebound. Okay, so first it becomes a snap down rebound, then it's a snap down back handspring. For really advanced athletes, it's a snap down back handspring back tuck. For some athletes, they're doing snap down back handspring into the pit with a full or something like that. But I think between the rebound and between the back handspring, most athletes can get a massive amount of value for that plyometric power just from those 2 drills alone. So those are things that I think should absolutely be staples inside. Make sure you spot someone when they're starting just to be sure they're safe, but these are just absolutely critical to have in someone's program. And then lastly, my all-time favorite is going to be a single leg rear foot elevated jump, okay, or a hop. Okay, so here we're gonna have the panel mat stacked up, and we're gonna be really working on those fast tucks, tuck knee coming up in the front here. Okay, so you can see Taylor's trying to really get that back knee towards the mirror to get up as high as she can to her chest, and you can see she's really moving her arms well. So 10 reps on each side, a couple sets per week. Okay, the biggest thing I want to see is that I want to make sure someone's really driving that knee up towards the chest, and it's not so much about like a running drill or a sprinting drill. It's about when you cue someone to get their knee to their chest, they jump harder to get more time in the air to make that happen. Okay, so by doing that external cue of get your knee to your chest, we're going to encourage someone to really hop more explosively, and that's the goal of the drill. drill. Number 2 is we see people who don't move their arms, okay? The arms can only move when the legs do as well. So if we're trying to get our leg up as high as we can, you can see she's got those 90-90 running arms, and we're really trying to get explosive there. So try to make sure someone's really understanding, where do my arms go, where do my elbows go, how fast do my hands have to move to help my feet catch up with me as well. And then third, it's just too many reps, okay? Someone who's doing 15, 20, 25, 30, some people try to use these in a cardio circuit, and all you get is just like a bunch of really half effort jumps, and it's really not super productive. This is a plyometric explosive exercise. So by doing 5 to 10 repetitions, you're going to encourage someone maximal effort, maximal speed. Okay, doing 30, 40, 50 reps kind of just becomes a little bit of an extra junk mileage, and I don't really like that. It also tends to put a lot of workload on their ankle and on their shins, and so at times to get into the territory of like shin splints or Achilles issues, and I don't really want that. So when we're doing cardio, we're doing cardio. When we're doing plyometrics, we're doing plyometrics. So 10 repetitions, really explosive, and this is probably my all-time favorite plyo drill for gymnasts to use. All right, and now the moment you've been waiting for. I'd like to just congratulate Liana Barber. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but you have won the 2023 Shift Tickets giveaway, and you also will win a free course of your choosing. We went through a random generator, just picked one out. She's been very active and vocal inside the YouTube community, so thank you so much, Liana. I hope you have a wonderful time at the Symposium. I will see you there. To claim your tickets and to claim your prize, please email support@shiftmovementscience.com, and our team will absolutely help you get set up to make sure it's all good to go. So congratulations. Thank you to everyone who listened to that, and then make sure this is your last week to get tickets if you want to jump in. If you've watched the videos, we've provided you value in the last 2 months of free giveaway, stuff like that. Please head on over and order your tickets. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you sign up for the Symposium, okay? We have 30 expert speakers, vault, bars, beam, floor, international coaches, the best medical providers, the best strength conditioning coaches that you could ever possibly find. I've seen all the preview of the lectures. They are absolutely incredible, and everything you have inside the Symposium is yours. So you'll get lecture recordings, you'll get handouts, the Q&A sessions. You can ask your questions if you have stuff you want to learn about. So do not miss this opportunity. The tickets are closing this Sunday at 12 p.m. So head on over to www.shiftmovementscience.com/2023 Shift Symposium to claim your tickets and jump in. And thank you everyone for all your time, for hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if this is your first time back in a while, and I will see everybody at the Symposium. Take care.